Moochstocking is a verb. To moochdock means to park at someone else's property and then mooch off of them. So you're connecting to their power, their water, and sometimes, like today, you get lucky and you connect to their sewer, their septic system. Noelle and I have mooched all across the country. We're not shy about it. If you invite us to your house, we'll show up and park in your driveway. Usually we only take power. Sometimes, actually I'd say most of the time we don't. But sometimes we'll get power, sometimes we'll get water if we're running low, and sometimes, like today, we'll get sewer. So, should you moochdock? Yes. Usually it means you're going to take your camper, your RV, whatever, and you're parking in someone's driveway. The supplies you need for moochstocking are very similar to the supplies you need for just parking going to an RV park. I'll show you what we have, kind of what we've perfected over the last couple of years. Obviously you have a water filter. We'll come back and talk about water in a minute. For us, this is our line for 30 amp power. Surge protector, and this makes sure of our polarity and grounding status from our friend or family's house. Water hose, I'll talk about that in a minute. It's kind of my goodie box, and then I'll just look at these briefly, then I'll put them back in. These are leveling blocks. We use these at friends and family's houses. It's amazing how many people don't have perfectly flush driveways and level driveways for our behalf. So I guess I could say,
for our behalf.
if you're thinking of inviting us over to Moochdock, could you check the grade on your driveway?
We prefer flat.
Flat is good. So we will break these out and use them. We're not proud. It's kind of our catch-all box here. So electric line here, extension cord with our adapter. This will let us adapt from 30 amp down to 15 amp. It's a connector that, let's see, go from, say, from your house, we connect here from your house to our extension line to our converter to our surge protector grounding box. Our grounding box we connect here and then into our camper here. So this came with our camper, the rest of it did not. Once we started moochstocking, we realized we needed a way to get power from friend or family's house to our house. And this little converter here allows us to do that. We've got like 50 feet of line here, and
it's just a regular extension cord,
yeah,
right?
It works for us. I think only once have we had to go longer, and then we borrowed our family's extension cord to connect to this. This bad boy. I had to get this. Somebody did not have a 3-prong connection, so I bought a little converter here to go for a 2-prong connection. We haven't had to use this at anyone's friend or family's mooch-docking house, but we do carry this for RV parks where we have a 50 amp connection instead of a 30 amp connection. We use this to convert down to 30. I think that's it. Yeah, those are our basic supplies that allow us to moochdock. Keeping in mind, like, power is a treat. We don't expect power when we moochdock. We prefer it, but we don't have to have it.
We're grateful for it.
I think the one area where we have gotten more picky over the years is as far as a level site. If we're too far out of level, our refrigerator stops working. So we're good for like overnight, but not really for like a couple days. If we're out of level, everything in our freezer will just defrost and our fridge starts to warm up. So I guess that's a good way to make sure we don't stay too long, is make sure you have a good slope on your property. The other thing to talk about is water. Through a process of trial and error, I've become picky about water when we moochdock. It's actually my preference not to get water from our friends and family. We've gotten bad water on at least one occasion, and then it contaminated our freshwater tank, and we went through a whole process of over months of bleaching and draining and filling and bleaching, and Noelle got sick from it. So I really prefer like filling up at RV parks or filling up somewhere where the water spigot is in constant use, not maybe filling up at a friend or family's house where the spigot is used biannually to water like the tomato plant or something. So all that goes out the window though when we're in cold climates and winter is approaching and there's nowhere to get water because all the RV parks have turned off their water. Then I'm perfectly willing to chance Noelle's health and
Thank you.
fill it up at a friend or family's house. But for me, just over time, my preference has been, let's get water from a public water access point, not friend or family. Could be different for you, but for us, this is just a personal preference. So here's what we've got in our goodie bag for power. So this this is always the same. We're gonna use this to connect it to the camper. Power supply will come in here. But what I have here, I've got a converter, so I can convert from 30 amp, which is what the camper runs on, down to 15 amp. So I don't know. This is the very first time of all the places we've boondocked where someone actually had a 30 amp connection. And I didn't use it. They had an open neutral, so I thought, nah, I'll just go with the 15 amp. So 15 amp, I've got a little converter here. I slap on the end like such. Then I can connect our power line to that, our extension cord, and then extension cord connects to your friend's or family's house. I still run it through, no matter where we're at, I still run it through our box here to verify that we have a good power supply, that nothing's wired in correctly. When something's wired in correctly, then I simply don't use that power. So yeah, pretty simple. So for you to Moochdock, this is what bare minimum what you're going to need. You need the converter, you need an extension cord, then you need whatever wires came with your camper or RV. Pretty easy. All wrapped up. To keep life simple, less confusing, I always stick the converter back into the extension cord, because the only time I use this extension cord is when I'm going to moochdock off someone. So it's an easy way for me not to lose it. So how often moochstocking do you have sewer?
Never. First time. I think this is the first time that I could think of. How about you?
Yeah, first time we've used it.
Who else had it?
John and Donna,
Oh yeah,
California.
John and you.
But we
Yeah.
didn't use it.
Yeah, true. Hey John and Donna.
Why do you hold your foot on there? Anything you'd like to share with us? You were saying something about me not setting...
You let poop go.
How did I let poop go?
Oh, yeah. You didn't put it in all the way, and then when I lifted the thing up, then it went... Then you ran away, like a girl.
Did I?
I dived, slow motion. I caught the poop shower, contained it.
I saw the poop shower coming.
And you ran.
I ran.
You
I
did.
dove out of the way.
You totally ran.
I don't think I'm the one who connected the pipe, though.
Pretty sure it was you.
Pretty sure it was not. I think I was filming
Probably
just
the
like
one
this.
that wears gloves.
No, I wasn't filming. Otherwise, I would have replayed that
Yeah,
shit
no one was filming that
again
one.
and again and again.
Oh, that was terrible.
It was precious.
Remember that old man was laughing so hard like
Yeah.
we never did it before?
Yep.
Like,
Well-
dude, we live in here. We know what we're doing. We just had a lapse of judgment.
Today in our moochstocking, we are at a friend's house who has, for us, we were able to connect to power. I would say this is half of the time when we moochdock, we get somewhere that we can connect to power. So we're just connecting to, 110. So, I mean, we're not doing anything particularly power hungry in the camper. So this is the most common for us, where we're just hooking up the power and then we run the power in off of our friend or family's house. What was nice here, we ran inside, we took showers, got clean. As nice as Cupcake is, it's always nice to get into like a full-size shower where you have more than 6 minutes of turning the water on and off. I'm going to turn the power off.
We're sure appreciative when we get to do laundry at friends or family's homes, but that's not really why we come. Generally, we try to do all of our laundry before we get to your house so that we have only clean laundry when we come to your house. Because it's one thing to park in your lot and to take an occasional shower, but it starts asking a lot of people and we don't want to ever overstep our boundaries. So Moochdocking is great and we're appreciative of it, but we also don't want to take advantage of your hospitality.
Today we are not Moochdocking, we are in an RV park, but the steps are really the same. We're going to check level, see if we're level side to side, level front to back. If we're not, then we'll shim it with some blocks. We're going to check the electrical connection, make sure everything is good. And then this place we have water, but we don't have like a full dump. So there's a dump on the way out. But the steps are really the same, whether you're Moochdocking, taking power, or setting up in an RV park. Pretty religious about using it's a surge protector, and I think I talked before, this gives us an idea to make sure everything's wired correctly on their end before I connect it to us. The internet and the Facebook is just full of stories of people having meltdowns or whatever due to improperly wired boxes. So plug it in. So we need to turn on our power. So one green.
Oh, it doesn't show up on
Yeah.
here.
So green tells us surge protection is on, but my blue is off. So we didn't have any blue showing up, or blue off, red off. So we have an open ground. So not the end of the world to have an open ground, but not necessarily what I'm itching to do. So we've had this before when we see it, and sometimes the 110 is good. So I'll connect to the 110.
You put it over there.
Put it over where?
In your pocket.
In my pocket, yeah. So I've got the 110 adapter left over from the last time we were Moochdocking. We'll plug that in and see if that's clean.
What did it say?
I was just looking at it, see if it was melted. Seems all right. Let me go one higher. That. There we go. Yeah, now we've got green and blue. So the blue on, red off, that tells us we have the correct wiring. So since we're not using the air conditioning, it's really not a big deal, like, at all, for us to not have the 30 amp service. Like, we only use 30 amp really when we're going to use AC. So right now, like, as we're moving in towards winter, like, our power needs are little, like the blower for the heater, but the heater itself is from propane. So we're just kind of sipping electricity at this point. So 110, 15 amp is perfect. I'm a little anal about how I like the wires to run. in part anal. I don't like them to touch the ground if possible. That's learning from our camper van. When if we had a wire on the ground, the mice would run up the wire, get into our wheel well, and then get into our camper van, and then like run around at night. It's much less a concern with the truck camper. The truck camper is enclosed in here. I think the odds of getting a mouse in here, no, I'm not even going to say it. I'm anal. I like to have a nice little tight coil of wire here, up off the ground, keep everything as dry as possible.
Because mice cannot climb on tires.
Now you said it. I was not going to say it. You said that. Yep. We are doomed.
No.
Turn it back on now. Sometimes moochstocking is in a parking lot, like today. We're at my brother's place. Lives in a condo, so it's just parking. So the amenities we have is a parking spot. That's it. So no power, no water, certainly no dump. This, I would say, for us, moochstocking, this is the majority that we do when we're hanging out at a friend's house or family's house, and we've just got the truck camper, Cupcake, parked. So on the outside, it looks cool. The inside is where it gets a little tight when we're moochstocking in really tight parking spaces. So come on in, I'll show you what it looks like. This is moochstocking from the inside. It's tight. So when the slide goes out, we have plenty of room. With the slide in, it's cozy in here. Cozy is a good word. And honestly, it's not a big deal when we're visiting someone for a day or two. Like, it doesn't bother me at all not to have the slide out. If we're visiting for longer, like sometimes in Colorado when we're visiting my parents, we'll stay in my sister's parking lot, and then we end up sometimes the week or 2 weeks of moochstocking with the slide in, and then the camper's just too small. Those are the times when I wish we did not have a slide, because with the slide in, we've just lost a lot of room. That's a different topic though. But for today, this is what moochstocking looks like when the slide is in. Looks pretty cozy.
It's pretty tight. You have to squeeze through to go to the bathroom at night. And this table, it's cold. Yeah, so, yeah, like Steve said, it's not bad at all, like to moochdock for a day or two with the slide in. But when we're at his sister's for a couple weeks or sometimes 3 weeks, that's a long time for this cramped space.
In interest of full disclosure, there's a big difference in height here. Noelle's talking about her boobs running across this. My belly runs across this. So what I found I do is when I'm going to walk that way, walk's the wrong word. When I'm going to slide this way, I close the bathroom door, slide it shut. That gives me an extra, 3 inches. Then when I'm
That's not 3 inches.
Yeah, I think door plus gap. Yeah.
Oh yeah, plus gap.
So when I get up by the seat, then I'll lean up into the seat a little bit and move the door the other way. So this is cold. Middle of the night.
So cold.
Cold on my belly.
Yeah, we only heat it to like 50 at night because that's a comfortable sleep, but it's not comfortable if you have to pass through here.
Nobody talks about the realities of cold, whatever this is. I want to say Formica, but it's not. Whatever this is.
It is
a cold surface on a warm belly.
It's what is it? Press board with paper over it.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you call that? Paper?
Don't know.
You know what I mean.
Aren't you glad you stuck around to learn more about our belly and boobs? Slide the door. Suck in the belly. See, it's not bad. I have a shirt on, so it's not like, oh, this is terrible. It's not bad at all. Ease out. Shut the door, lock the door. And away we go.
Today, it's another project about storage. Or maybe not. Well, okay.
Well, now I'm worried.
It's the easy segments that take forever. Why do you think it's stuck like that?
I don't know. Now I'm worried that it got
Shorted?
shorted and it melted.
Well,
Where do we use this at? Oh yeah, Vinny's.
well, it's the last place. Yeah. Hey, Vinny. Thanks for letting us moochdock at your house, Vinny. It's beautiful. And flat. That's pretty weird. What the heck's going on with it?
I was trying to pull this apart to show you, and I had a hard time getting it apart, so I ended up getting a screwdriver to like pry it out, and I can see here the end. Actually had something happen here. Then I can look at the color. This side discolored right there as well. So this is honestly, this is why I'm religious about using this bad boy right here. We've got our laptops, we've got electronics plugged in. So I'm a little, I wish this would have tripped. I'd feel better if this is tripped when we had whatever this surge was, but at least we caught it. So now we're actually close enough to civilization. We can swing by Home Depot and buy new ones and toss these out.